Election day is finally almost here, but unfortunately, I know for a fact that's not the end of the 2020 election. Sue, there's a lot more legal action in store for us that'll keep this battle going for quite a while, right?
Yeah, my nickname is the Explainer-in-Chief, but even I'm not going to try and explain this because I'm not a constitutional law or a law expert, and it's all super confusing. Already, over 300 lawsuits have been filed in dozens of states across the country, so things are in motion already.
Okay, well, I'm strapped in and ready for this legal roller coaster. First, I understand that there's already been some key court decisions around voting in states.
Right. In Texas, the Supreme Court rejected a Republican-led effort to throw out nearly 127,000 Harris County votes. These were votes that were made during a drive-through voting location. The Republicans wanted to say that it was illegal and the vote shouldn't count, but the challenge didn't make it, but it now might move on to federal court, so that's a case that we're going to watch in the coming months.
Quick update on that story. Since we recorded on Monday, the case was actually rejected in federal court. Yeah, election news moves fast. Back to the show. And the United States Post Office has been at the center of so much of this, with many more ballots being cast by mail amid the pandemic this year. But now ballots in the postal system are also being targeted.
Right. It's been confusing for many states and many voters about when your vote should reach the polling station. Can it come after the election as long as it's postmarked on election day, or does it have to arrive on election day? And in Wisconsin, the deadline was not extended, but in North Carolina and Pennsylvania, they are accepting ballots after election day. So as you can see, the Supreme Court could be involved in those choices and those decisions after the election.
And who knows what's going to happen afterwards, so that it's nuts. Like, votes can count and then not count in Pennsylvania. How are people supposed to feel secure about their vote when it's just being thrown into limbo?
Right, and talk about limbo, in Minnesota, there was a ruling that the absentee ballots that arrive after November 3rd must be separated and not be counted depending on what the future court proceedings are regarding lawsuits in Minnesota. So I guess the message is that we need to pay more attention to our right to vote and find ways to exercise it and make sure that we're defending it in every way that we can.
I mean, definitely. I know this isn't new this year, but it still surprises me that a voter's signature can be a factor when it comes to counting their vote. As somebody with a sloppy signature that looks like it was written by a hamster covered in ink, that's concerning.
Right, we've become so casual and pay no attention to our signatures. Many of us are just using our finger to make a swidgy when we're trying to, cash out of someplace. But it's important that the signature on your ballot in many places match the signature on your license or on your passport or on your social security card. And that, unfortunately, is not a message that got through to voters in the way that it should have.
So it's just going to be raining lawsuits after Election Day. Should I bring an umbrella?
Yeah, except unless one of the candidates wins by a lot and doesn't hinge on ballots that have been set aside. Then we may not see much litigation, but be sure if the margin is close, we'll be in court for a while.
And for everyone who thought that their political anxiety was going away after the election, sorry.
Yeah, we have to also talk about voter suppression when we get on the other side of this election, what you wear to a poll, if that allows you to vote, and what's a poll watcher do? These are things that we should really pay attention to because voter suppression is not what the founders had in mind when they founded this great nation.
We all think we're reaching the finish line, but it looks like we have another marathon on the way. You got your running shoes on?
Yes, and I'm hydrating, so hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. It's a marathon.